Yeah, so you've got an encoder in the middle of things, creating the encoding ladder. Then you've got the CDN
Mhm.
distributing. What about the software that you've contributed? How does that work? So I log into some kind of portal, I would guess, and then administrate through there.
Exactly. I mean, if you have so take a typical client. We have clients in iGaming, for example. They're running 50 or 100 channels, and they want to see what's going on. It's part of their operations to understand how much data is flowing through the system and things like that. So yes, there is a portal where they can log in and they see their usage and they see all of the channel information that they would need. And because it's a very important part, of course, of any mature system, that the client understands what's going on. And
Okay.
for that reason as well, I mean, one of the topics for today, when it comes to encoding, I would say that the encoding is particularly important for us to solve because we have loads of channels running 24/7. So that's going to be a difference if you're running a CDN and your typical client is broadcasting for 20 minutes a month or something like
Hmm.
that. Then of course the encoding load is much lower. Um, in our case, yes, we do have those types, but many of our clients are heavy users, and that they own a lot of content rights, and therefore the encoding part is it's several hundreds of terabytes ingested on only one quality for each stream monthly on the ingest side. So
Okay. So you're encoding ABR. Which codecs are you supporting, and which endpoints are you supporting?
yeah, so codec wise, we're actually we have chosen to. I mean, everybody does H.264, of course. That's the standard in live when it comes to live streaming with low latency. Um, and we have recently added AV1 as well,
Hmm.
which was something we announced as a world first. That I mean, we weren't world first with AV1, but we were world first with AV1 at what many would call real time. We call it low latency. So we chose to add that because there's a lot of I mean, there are pointers in the market pointing to AV1 in short.
Okay. And which devices are you targeting? Is it TVs, smart TVs, mobile, the whole gamut?
Yeah, I would say the whole gamut actually. There's that list of devices is steadily growing. So I would say I'm trying to find some way of putting if there's any devices that we don't support, because as long as it's using the internet, we're delivering to it. So I would say, I mean, if you have any desktop browser, any mobile browser, including iOS as well, which is basically the hardest one. If you're delivering to iOS browsers that are all running iOS Safari, we're getting the same performance on iOS Safari, and then I mean Apple TV, uh, Google Google Chromecast, even Samsung and LG TVs, and yeah, Android TVs. There's many different a plethora of different devices that our clients require
Okay.
us to support.
4K, 1080p, HDR, SDR,
Yes.
all of the above.
The answer is yes. Yeah, well, I mean, understanding that one very important thing for us is, of course, to prove the point of that you get quality while getting low latency. So take a typical client that they're broadcasting sports, and their viewers are used to watching this on their television, maybe a 77-inch or 85-inch TV. You don't want that user to get a 720p stream. So you need it to be high quality. And since it is kind of a point that we want to make because we can do it as well. So this type of a client would typically say, okay, there's a configurable latency. So maybe they pick a second of latency or 800 milliseconds, and they want 4K to be maintained on that latency. That's one of the use cases where we shine. practically. There's also a huge market for lower qualities as well, where that's important. So you mentioned ABR ladders, and yes, there's markets where you get 600 kilobits per second on the last mile. You have to solve for that as well.